So talking about corruption and Maharashtra politics, when Mr. Devendra Fadnavis came to the power, immediately after swearing in ceremony office, he directly attacked you, saying that he did not want to become another Prithviraj Chavan. He was referring to grappling with the corruption cases and corruption charges against your colleagues. Now, how do you evaluate his performance as your successor?
Well, I think he has beat our record, a bad record of our government, if there was anything. And that is precisely why we are now exposing his corruption scandal under his captainship. Uh, there is a systematic attempt to malign me by the Mumbai builders lobby because I took them on. My point was that we need builders, we need developers. They should make profits because otherwise, why should anybody be in the business? But don't corrupt the whole system. What is happening? Right from the politician to the bureaucrat to the police to the underworld, everybody was co-opted to achieve certain ends, and the whole system was corrupted. And therefore, I didn't have any control over my officials. I didn't have control over my ministers who were doing what. Everybody had a private enterprise going with builders, and builders with a connect, which brought all these evil forces together, and a huge nexus was created. I cracked at that nexus, and I think I was partly successful, not completely, because I was also running a coalition government, and I did not have the very important home portfolio with me. If I had a home portfolio like Devendra Fadnavis has, I think things I could have achieved a lot more than I did achieve. But I still tried to clear up the cooperation department, the banking system particularly. I tried to clear the irrigation mess that we have been. But at the same time, I could not order inquiries against my own colleagues. That had to be done by courts and other people. The idea was that we admit that something was not right and try to correct it, rather than pointing fingers. But the point is, this was a malicious campaign, and I didn't counter that campaign because we didn't believe in advertisements and all that. But I think what my government achieved, the record speaks for itself. I focused on public issues, issues which are pushed under the carpet for many years, and I delivered on the public issues. And I was not so particularly keen on solving personal issues, problems, increasing FSI or lifting reservation, which would have made very many people very happy, even in field of builders, businessmen and all that. I didn't go there, but I went on policy. I think a project like with Advantage Vidarbha for Vidarbha, I think focusing on Mihan and trying to get companies like TCS and Infosync into Mihan, and trying to get Amaravati, the defense project there. We tried to really do something for Vidarbha. I think policy speaks for itself. But these builders and certain politicians with vested interest and even some media friends co-opted into it, created a issue that I'm not taking decision. I did not take a wrong and illegal decision. If delivering fast means taking all sort of illegal decisions and all that thing, fooling people, then that's not what I wanted to do.
So over here, if at all I could interrupt, your predecessors were accused of corruption. Then you came as Mr. Clean CM. But then again, as we are discussing, that you were accused of procrastination because you had to sit upon certain decisions because you did not want that corrupt decisions to carry on. But then what this current government, they are not being accused of, you are taking up issues for sure, but in public domain at large, they are not being accused of either of these things, either corruption or procrastination. What is that thing that they are doing right?
No, I think in both counts, it's probably our failure to portray what is really happening. I think the corruption scandals that have come out late, just in one assembly session last year, about 8 cases of nexus between politicians at the highest level and bureaucrats, and inquiries which the CM had to order against senior colleagues were exposed. I mean, of course, initially when people knew, they did not know what their powers were, and they were trying to staff their offices and all that. So nothing happened in first 1 year or 2 years. But after second year, about 12 or 15 ministers have been accused of corruption at various levels, issues of tendering and all that. And now the real estate scams are so huge. Secondly, they tried to create a government that works or delivers. They paid a lot of promises. Now we had to expose that none of those promises have been fulfilled. Now take example of Chhatrapati Shivaji Memorial. Take example of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Memorial. Take example of Mumbai's coastal road. Take example of the sea link between Nava Shiva and Shivdi in Mumbai, a very crucial link. Nothing. Airport, Navi Mumbai, nothing happened. Not a single project has come to Mihan. What happened to the Amravati's project? What happened to Bhandara's BHEL project? They talked a lot. In Samruddhi Mahamarg also, the communications highway that CM's pet project has been completely messed up. The land pooling methodology, which was wrong from beginning, we told the CM that it's wrong, it will never work, and ultimately after 2.5 years, it had to be given up. So what has succeeded? They completely messed up this agriculture crisis. They couldn't handle the loan waiver at all. First he said no, no, no. Then he agreed to a figure. Now we don't know what the real figure is. So where has he succeeded? It is perhaps the shortcoming of the opposition that we are not making a focused attack. We are a small opposition party now, and NCP's and Congress relationship are little uncertain. We don't know what NCP is going to do. But do you think if we make a concerted attack on the government, I think government will be exposed. State level, there are many issues facing Maharashtra, particularly initially since Mr. Devendra Fadnavis had no administrative experience, he had not ever worked as a minister or in an executive capacity. So it was a learning period for him. For almost 1 year, we did not question. We thought all ministers were virtually new, and corruption scandals kept on happening. But partly it was attributed to the inexperience of ministers, and we let it go. That these purchase scandals of tribal affairs department, women and child affairs department, degrees of ministers, non-filing the affidavits of property. All those issues were regularly brought up. Till we hit Mr. Khadse. In Khadse's case, corruption was alleged. Chief Minister was prompt to remove him from the cabinet, and also instituted inquiry by a judge. But by and large, otherwise, CM has been always giving clean sheet to any minister against whom he be charged any charges of corruption. Therefore, we focused on policy issues, farm debt crisis, how they mishandled the whole issue, the tooth purchases in Vidarbha region, how this completely lack of planning and completely lackadaisical approach to tooth purchases, bordering on perhaps some nexus between the Satta Bazaar, the forward markets, and government's statistical department. So we've been focusing on policy issues, but now of late, particularly in the last session of the Maharashtra Assembly, concrete evidence of hardcore corruption was brought out and laid before the House. CM could not adequately reply, and he was forced to institute inquiries against his senior ministerial colleagues. Our demand was inquiries are fine, but they should be conducted by a retired judge of the High Court, because it involved senior ministers, and in one case, even CM's involvement is apparent there. So we need to come to the truth, and people have to be assured that there is no hanky-panky, there is no corruption. We alleged in the House that there is a clear case of corruption, whether it is against the industry minister for the denotification of acquired lands, or bureaucratic level against the then CEO of the MSRDC or the then CEO of SRA. Huge issues were taken. We have audio clips, we have video records of interviews being given by senior officers. But CM is mum. I mean, neither the Anti-Corruption Bureau has inquired into it. They have so moto not instituted any inquiry. Only on our insistence at CM instituted some inquiries. But we are not happy with the sham inquiries. The inquiry should be only conducted by a retired judge of the High Court at the highest level, because very high functionaries involved.